Hello students, today we are going to do lesson number 5, a different kind of school. A different kind of school is a very, you can say a different kind of story, a unique kind of a story where all the children learn to be thoughtful. Okay, here the principal of the school is Miss Beam, who teaches his children not only to feel pity for the differently abled children but to become thoughtful and put out their hands towards help. Just see, the writer is telling in the first paragraph, I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. When I arrived there, was no one in sight but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. She stopped and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me her. Then they passed on. Inside is to be seen. Miss Beam was all that I had expected, middle-aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn grey and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. So the meaning of kindly is friendly, plump means stout, pleasantly fat, not unpleasant fat, but with fatness that is liked by everyone. So over here, a different kind of school is about some children, about a school that is run by Miss Beam, and it is said that this school teaches the children not only education, not only academics, but they teach the children to be thoughtful. And how can they be thoughtful? When they practice the same thing, they can only understand the misfortune of the differently abled children, and then only they can understand them and then can be thoughtful. So the writer was really amazed, surprised to see such thing. When he enters a school, he finds that a 12-year-old girl was sitting and her eyes was totally bandaged. She just wanted a help to walk, and a 4-year younger boy was helping her, and she asked the boy also who was on the gate, and the boy explained. Then the writer, in the next paragraph, you'll be finding that the writer meets Mrs. Beam, and the third paragraph gives a physical description of Miss Beam, not Mrs. Beam, sorry, Miss Beam. Let us move forward. No more than this is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. So the main motto of Miss Beam is to make the children thoughtful, okay, not thoughtless. She wanted the children to become thoughtful, yet she taught them academic. They learned reading and writing, they learned addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and the rest of the lessons there was no learning like that. They were just listening, like history, civics and other geography. They used to listen, and whatever they used to grasp, that was their education. The main point of education was to become thoughtful. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others and being responsible citizen. Look out of the window a minute, will you? So Miss Beam is explaining that the main motto of the school is not only to teach them thought, that you feel pity, but you have to feel the misfortune of the differently abled people, and so you can put out your hand towards help. That is what the thing she wanted them to teach, and so she asked the writer to look out of the window. I went down I went to the window, which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. "What do you see?" Miss Beam asked. "I see some very beautiful grounds," I said, "and a lot of jolly children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see two more with the same difficulty. And there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be a hopeless cripple." Miss Beam laughed. "Oh no," she said, "she is not really lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day." I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. This is a very important part of our system, to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune. We make them share in misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. The bandage is put on overnight, so they wake blind. This means that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helpers. So you'll be finding that the writer is called to the window to see down. Now what he sees a beautiful garden and many jolly children playing over there. But he feels pity that all are not healthy and all are not active looking. To which Miss Beam clears his confusion that they are all healthy, but they are practicing something. They are practicing a blind day, a lame day. The girl who is walking with a crutch is practicing a lame day. The girl whom the writer met at the gate was practicing a blind day. In this way, they come to understand the misfortune that is befallen on all the disabled children, and so that they could help them out. So, in a term, each children, those who are coming to the school, they have to follow a blind day, a lame day, a deaf day, like that goes on. And when they are bandaged, their eyes are bandaged, it is their honor that they are not going to pee, because the hands are free. They could easily open the bandage and see, but it is upon their own, you can say, determination to follow the day, and they don't have to open it. There is no strict rule that they cannot open it, but it is on their own respect, own honor, and own determination that they are not going to do it. Other children are there to help them out. There's no misery about it, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is very kind, and it is really something of a game. Before the day is over, though, even the most thoughtless child realizes what misfortune is. So it is said that there is no misery, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is kind to everyone, and by the end of the day, even the thoughtless child who doesn't feel about the misfortune of the differently able children, they also understand what misfortune is. The blind day is, of course, really worst, but some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the children's mouth, so they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. So the Miss Beam says that blind day is difficult, but according to some children, it is the dumb day that is really difficult, because it is their own will that they are not supposed to talk. Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girls. "Here's a gentleman come to talk to you," said Miss Beam, and left us. So the writer was taken to a bandaged girl, and she left the writer over there so that he could talk. "Don't you ever peep?" I asked the girl. "Oh no," she exclaimed. "That would be cheating, but I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. Are you helpers kind to you? I asked. Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you would try. Shall I lead you anywhere? I asked. Oh yes, she said. Let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad when today is over. The other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I'll mind being deaf for a day, at least not much, but being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just from worrying that I'll get hurt. Where are we now? So the writer was talking to the girl and he asked the girl that, do you ever peep? The girl said that no, this what I'm not doing. So she feels very awful when she is very blind. So when she is just practicing the blind day, she is being asked also that how the helpers are. She said, okay, the helpers are really good, but when she would be on the term of the helper, she would really work very nicely. Now she is being led by the writer to the whole ground and she asked to be explained everything. Now she is being explained by the writer every here and there. Now she also says that other days are not as troublesome as the blind day. So according to the girl, the blind day is the more difficult thing. Now they comes to the playground. In the playground, I said, we are walking towards the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. What is the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. Yes, that's Millie, she's the head girl. There's an old man tying up roses, I said. Yes, that's Peter, he's the gardener. He's hundreds of years old. And here comes a girl with a curly red hair. She's on crutches. That's Anita, she said. And so we walked on. Gradually, I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could be. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Bean that I was very sorry to go. Oh, she replied, then there is something in my system after all. So in the garden, while she was walking with the writer, she was explained that she met a girl. The writer saw the girl wearing a blue cotton skirt and pink blouse, and she was the head girl. And after that, she meets the gardener also. She has been explained that the gardener is working over there, and a girl also with the crutches. So in this manner, when the writer went on explaining the girl about everything, he became more and more, you can say, more and more thoughtful. So in this way, the writer also understood that so nicely the school runs and teaches the children to become thoughtful and to help others. So I think class, you have understood this chapter. Please go through the chapters, and I would like you to write the word meaning in your copy. Soon I am going to post all the exercises that is in the chapter. Thank you, students.